So, hello guys. So, I will gonna demonstrate to you and explain ano ba itong tinatawag nating Docker, also its integration with the Kubernetes or the orchestration tool on the different containerized application. So, pasadahan na natin ito. So, may mga ilang prerequisite na kailangan kayong install before you start your development, your own containerized application. So, ginagamit kong platform ngayon itong si Windows, but we can also install Docker on other environment gaya ng Linux. So na-try ko na to sa virtual machine, but currently I have problems regarding on my virtual machine kasi nawawala yung kanyang IP address. So kaya for my demonstration video ay ito yung gagamitin natin, itong si Windows. So isa sa prerequisite niya is you need to install the Chocolatey, which is a package manager for this Windows. So, itong mismo mga commands na ito, the whole guide, I will send it to you para matry ninyo ito. So, para sa mga personalized project ninyo. So, basically, this project is a face recognition, also integrated with age detection. Ano, kumbaga, detect niya yung face mo, and also, ipe-predict niya ano ba yung age ng mukha ng taong na-detect ng model natin. So, actually, this is my code base. Ito siya. So, ito yung mga components natin. So, itong si Prototext at itong si cat model, ito yung bibigay ko din sa inyong file. So, yung buong file na ibibigay ko na sa inyo para magamit ninyo sa mga personal projects ninyo at para ma-experience ninyo ba't ba ginagamit itong si Docker along with this Kubernetes, which is our orchestration tool to manage our application. Now, first you need to install this Docker desktop. So our Docker desktop, basically this is our Docker engine or the container engine. So para makapagpatakbo ka ng containerized application or this cloud native application, locally, we will use this Docker desktop. So although you can accomplish this task on the cloud computing, the problem is para ma-access mo yung mga ganong platform ni sa cloud, example like GCP, AWS, and Azure, ay syempre kailangan mo ng account and minsan nagre-require sila ng credit card. So, kaya ito muna yung ginamit ko for my local development. So, pasadahan na natin. So, in our guide, we have this Choco install. So, ito yung mga install natin. We will install the Python, also the Git, Minikube, which is our container engine. Basically, this is our container engine. The Kubernetes for our orchestration. Si ngrok naman, gagamitin natin to for port forwarding para ma-access natin siya sa ibang device. Example, gusto mo lang i-try na ma-access yung application mo ng ibang device. So, basically, this is a port forwarding tool, Itong si ngrok, and also the Docker desktop, which is meron na tayo ngayon. Kung meron na kayong Docker desktop, tumatakbo na yung engine, so may times na ito ay hindi tatakbo agad dahil yung virtualization is naka-disabled. Pwede ninyong gawin is i-check niyo yung documentation kasi it provides the full guide paano niyo ma-resolve yung mismong problem regarding on that disabled virtualization. Minsan naman, kailangan mo lang ayusin yung BIOS at i-enable mo yung virtualization. Now, kapag tumatakbo na ang aking Docker engine, ang ating Docker engine, you will open your Windows PowerShell on the administrator. So, kailangan ito ay administrator, ha? Next, mong gagawin is you will issue the command minikube start. Medyo zoom ko lang. You will issue the command minikube start /driver. So, it depends on your driver. Pwede din naman VirtualBox. Kung meron kang VirtualBox, but I recommend the Docker po, dahil may naka-install na tayong Docker engine or container engine on our desktop. So, let's proceed. Control. So, wait lang. Kailangan ko kasi yan, nag-close na siya. So, ang gagawin ko muna, magna-navigate ako sa isang specific project na gusto kong i-containerize. I will just copy this directory. Then, magsi-cd lang ako. So, paste ko lang yung directory. Then, after nyan, you need to, after mo ma-install itong mga packages na to on our guide, so this is our project structure. We have the app.py, which is basically our code base application code. Also the index file, which is our index.html, which is our front end. Yung requirement.txt and Docker file, ito naman yung gagamitin natin sa containerization. While on the other hand, the deployment and service, YAML, ay gagamitin natin to sa orchestration. Then the hnet at yung deploy, ito yun naman yung ginamit natin sa face recognition, which is ito yung pinaka-model natin. So ito yung gagamitin natin mga model files. Now let's proceed. So we will first code. So magko-code muna tayo. So yung code natin ito ay nagawa tayo ng isang app.py. So this is our code base. So app.py, then you will paste this specific code. So nandiyan na yung code natin for this backend. Ito yung pinaka-backend ng ating application. So ginawa ko, pwede ka din mag-Visual Studio or PyCharm. Pero medyo nasanay kasi ako sa Linux, kaya I use this Nano. Kung wala pa kayong Nano, you can install Nano by using the command choco install Nano -y. Pero mayroon na kasi akong Nano. I will issue the command Nano. So gagawin kasi ni Nano, magke-create siya ng isang file na ito yung kanyang extension, ito yung kanyang file name, at kapag in-enter ko yan, mag-open yan ng text editor. So, basically, nandiyan na yung code na nilagay ko. So, nandiyan na po yung code na nilagay ko. At yung Nano kasi, may navigation yan sa baba. Sorry, medyo mahaba. May navigation po yan sa baba, nandito sa baba. So, kapag tapos na kayo mag-code, you will Control X, and nakasave na yan. But, kung may mga changes kayo nilagay, i-yes nyo pa yan, mag-input pa kayo ng Y, or no, kung isa-save mo man or hindi. Then, the next thing na gagawin natin, after mo ma-code itong mga to, so si index.html is our front end. So, tignan na natin yan. What we need to do is create a text file, which its file name is requirements.txt. Actually, hindi lang requirements.txt yung pwede mo ipangalan. So, requirements lang yung pinangalan sa kanya para descriptive yung naming convention natin. So, lagay mo Nano requirements. Pero pwede mong ibahin yan. Depende sa iyong naming convention. But when it comes to containerization, we use this requirements.txt as a file name. Then, sa loob ng ating requirements.txt ay nandito po yung mga dependencies. So, it depends to your applications. No? So, on our situation, on our scenario, is this is basically a Python application. Python application that will use different dependency or library. Ang nilalagay mo sa loob ng requirement.txt ay yung mga library. So basically, mga library or mga dependency na gagamitin mo sa project. So we use the Flask for, we will use this as a web server or the Python server para mapatakbo natin sa web yung ating Python application. Then the OpenCV, this is used for face detection. Which is reference to our model file. So, kita naman ninyo yung model file natin. Also, the NumPy is used for our face recognition. So, madalas naman talaga na requirement.txt basically is yung mga dependency libraries, at pwede ito magbago depende sa kung anong language yung ginagawa mo or gusto mong i-containerize. Example ay PHP. So, ano yung mga PHP library na ilalagay mo? So, may mga PHP mailer ba? Tawag dito? TCPDF. So, it depends to the requirements of the project. So, kapag nailagay mo na yung mga dependency, just save it. So, sa Nano kasi, you will just click Control X, tapos mag-yes ka lang. So, dahil may laman na siya, okay na naman yan. Then, the next one is the Docker file. So, the Docker file is one of the most important file na kakailanganin mo sa when it comes to the containerization ng iyong application. So the Docker file is one of the most important files when it comes to cloud native applications. So ang laman ni Docker file is the script. Basically, these are the script that you will need to bundle the application. So sa containerization kasi, we bundle the application. We bundle the application code, the application dependency o libraries. Tapos, yung environment na gagamitin niya, yung Docker image. Yung Docker image, ito yung mga templates. So the Docker image here on our command is ito. So we mentioned from Python. Specifically, this is a Docker image from Python. Ang pangalan ng ating Docker image is 3.9 Slim. So Python 3.9 Slim po yung gagamitin natin. So it depends to your project kung anong uri ng Docker image. At yung mga Docker image na yun, pwede mo mahanap doon sa isang website kagaya ng Docker Hub. Then, we have this 3.9 Slim kasi medyo mataas yung requirements, and this is a face recognition software project, sorry. Then we set this directory as our working directory for our app. Then we copy the following. So what are we copying? Syempre yung mga dependency. Saan naka-reference yung dependency? Nasa loob po yun ng ating requirements.txt. And also take notes. Take note lang guys ha. Dito sa run pip install, so kaya siya pip kasi pagdating sa mga Python projects, si pip kasi yung package manager. So this is used to install the different dependencies sa yung project, si pip. So kung ikaw naman yung gumagamit ng PHP, pwede mo itong palitan ng Composer. So it depends din sa project. So kung ito ay node application, so papalitan mo ito ng npm. So ganun siya. Then after we install, so ang ginagawa kasi natin dito, we install the following requirements. The following dependency from the requirements.txt, which is yung ginawa natin kanina. Na ang laman niya, yung Flask, yung OpenCV, at yung NumPy. Ito yung mga dependency na kakailangan natin sa project. It depends on your projects, no? So kung ikaw ay gagamit ng prediction, pwede ka maglagay ng Arima dito, sa Remax, Prophet, which is used by Meta. So, yun. Then, we basically expose the 5,000 port. So, yung 5,000 port, ito po yung ating port na ginagamit pagdating sa Flask application ni Python. Pero kung ang gagamitin mo ay web, PHP, pwede mo itong palitan ng 80. No? Then, on the command, we have the CMD. We will build this Python application. And our reference code is our app.py. Ito yung mismong i-build natin. So, after mo ma-download yung mga dependency, you will build the application. Bibuild mo na siya. Ganun lang. Then, ito medyo na-advance. So, ito naman, kahit later nyo na-create, itong si deployment YAML. So, okay lang naman kung huwag nyo muna gawin. At dito sa part na aking instruction, ginawa ko na siya. So, we have the API version, which is apps. Ayan po ay version 1. Sa kind, you can change this. Pwedeng testing, pwedeng deployment. But on our instance, deployment yung gagawin natin. At yung name ng ginagawa nating application, pwede mo itong baguhin. So, pwedeng face record, face API, depende sa pangalan ng iyong application. Then, sa replicas, kapag binuild mo yung application, ginamitan mo ng orchestration tool, the orchestration tool automatically create 3 replicas. At bakit siya gagawa ng 3 replicas? Kasi doon pumapasok yung tinatawag nating vertical scaling. Horizontal scaling. So, when we say horizontal scaling, yung pag kasi maraming user yung nag-access sa isang service, na isang application, may possibility na ito ay magkaroon ng bottleneck, latency, at performance issue. So, dahil may 3 kang replica, yung 3 mong replica ay mag-handle ng multiple queries or multiple requests. 3 na yung mag-handle ng mga queries, mga requests, imbes na isa lang. So, yun yung reason kaya So, it depends on the scalability. Pwede mo itong gawing 5 or 4 or 3. It depends on the requirements na iyong application. Then, the match labels, wala naman tayo diyang nilagay. Ginaya lang natin yung pangalan ng ating API name, which is itong nandito sa metadata natin na Face API. So, ito lang yung pangalan ng ating service or containerized application pag ito ay kinabitan natin sa Kubernetes. or sa orchestration tool natin. Then, you will also use the never for the image pool policy. At yung container port na ginagamit natin is 5,000 pa din dahil ito po ay naka-plus. So, dito kasi sa ano ko, sa aking project, kapag nagdano, deployment, .yaml ako, meron na ako niyan. So, nandiyan na yan. Tapos, kung meron yung deployment YAML, dinidefine nito yung way kung paano di-deploy application. And as you can see, kapag daw di-deploy natin yung application, we will basically automatically create 3 replicas. So, we create 3 replicas. Then, yung 3 replica mo, pwede niya i-handle yung 3 replica mo, may concept siya ng load balancing. Hindi lang isang service yung isang service mo, meron siyang 3 replica that can handle multiple requests. Then, let's go to the service and how we expose the service. Kasi, pag nagko-containerize tayo ng application, ay pumapasok yung microservice na tinatawag natin. So, this is related to the microservice architecture. So, on our service, ito na i-expose natin. Ito po yung i-expose natin sa mga users, the service. So, on the API version 1 pa din. Ang kind, this is a service. This is a service. At, ano ba yung pangalan ng service mo? Then, for the type, we use the cluster IP kasi yung port 5000 kasi, hindi natin siya pwedeng i-port forward sa ngrok. Dahil, hindi kasi 5000 ang ginagamit sa web browsing. So, by default kasi, ang ginagamit is port 8080, which is used for HTTP. Then, for the app, we have the Face API, kung saan ito yung pangalan ng Face API dito. Ito yung Face API, dito sa ating deployment. Then, after you create those file, the following file, what we need to do is to build the Docker image. So, we will build the Docker image. Pero, input muna natin itong komanda ito. Minikube Docker. So, we will set the environment on the Docker. And we have the invoke expression for our, we have this or pipeline, pipeline command. So, execute ko lang yan. So, medyo matagal lang kasi kailangan siya ay nasa Minikube Docker environment. Then, we will build our application. So, the command is docker build -t or plug t, pangalan ng containerized application. Pangalan po ng containerized application, followed by the period. So, ito pwede mo itong baguhin, depende sa pangalan ng containerized application na ginagawa mo. So, copy natin yan. So, we basically build a -t Face API. So, may period po yun sa dulo. So, i-build niya yan. Actually, da-download niya din lahat ng mga dependency. So, antay-antay lang natin. Sana yung mabilis. Kapag medyo mabagal, check din niyo yung internet ninyo. So, sa aking instance, sa akin kasi, hindi ito yung first time na binil ko tong application na to, kaya ganito kabilis. Pero kung first time, i-download niya pa yung mga dependency. So, isi-set up niya pa yung lahat. Then, ito, inuna ko na to kanina. Itong Minikube start --driver, we specify the Docker here. So, Minikube start. So, kailangan kapag i-execute niyo to, kailangan nagra-run po yung inyong Docker engine. Pero kanina sa unang part ng video, pinakita ko na, in-start ko na. Then, so actually, kahit wala nitong load image into Minikube, but we will also execute this one. So, kasi, nung nag-create tayo, pangalan nating containerized application is Face API. So, kaya ang nilagay natin dito, we have the Minikube image load API. So, I will input those command. Minikube load image Face API. Then, execute that command. Sorry. Tama ba? Minikube. So, we put the Minikube image load API. So, kapag in-input nyo yan, kasi niloload natin yung mismong image na create natin, our Minikube, yung ating containerized application, medyo ito ay matagal. So, antay-antayin lang natin. So, habang hindi pa siya naglo-loading, I will explain the next command that you will issue. So, we will apply the following configuration files. Actually, this is a configuration files. Deployment is how we deploy the application. We basically define how we deploy our application, our orchestration tool. So on our service, how we expose the service. Basically, how will the user access those service. Example is our face recognition. So nagload na siya. What we need to do is to apply. So Kubernetes apply -f, pangalan ng configuration file. So the first one is deployment YAML. So I will input that command here. So, pero bago yan, magnano deployment yung ML muna tayo para mapakita ko sa inyo yung replica. Well, our replica is 3. Kapag in-input natin yung mismong configuration na iyon, so kapag in-input na natin yung apply configuration na iyon, apply -f yung configuration file natin. So, we will set our container application to be created with 3 replicas. Mamaya makikita natin yung 3 replicas na yon. So, let us close this one. So, apply muna natin to. Sabihin niya na in-apply na yung configuration. So, deployment face API is configured. Na-configure na natin yung deployment part. Now, let us configure the service. How we expose the service to the user. So this is service. So wala siyang S ha. So it depends to the name of your configuration file. So unchanged. So kaya siya unchanged kasi I applied this configuration before. Now, let us check the paths. So the paths is basically display the number of replicas ng iyong application. So, when issuing the command kubectl or kubectl get paths. And as you can see, ilan ang ginawa nating replica. Gumawa tayo ng 3. So, let us try to change. Let us change the deployment. Subukan natin baguhin yung number of replica. Subukan natin gawing 5. Then, let us save this one. Then, let's reapply the deployment. If we issue the get paths, because 5 yung in-input natin na replica, we will basically see 5 replicas here. And as you can see, this 5 replica will handle the different requests. Yung kasi yung pinaka-point nitong ating orchestration. So, this is called vertical scaling. Ay, horizontal scaling. Sorry. So, nagkakamali ako. So, horizontal scaling. So, this horizontal scaling, imbis na isang service lang yung mag-handle ng transactions, ng requests ng mga user. So, dito, 5 yung mag-handle. May concept siyang tinatawag na self-healing, kung saan kapag nag-down yung isa, automatically i-restart siya. Meron din siya ng load balancing para mabalance yung load. Hindi lang isang replica yung mag-handle ng loads. So, ganun ang ginagawa natin. So, we apply the following command, the service, the deployment. So, yung service, ito yung gagamitin natin para masubukang i-access yung ating application. So, pangalan natin, kubectl get service. So, si deployment kasi, we just define how we deploy. But how do we expose or how do the user will access the service na kinahit natin? Kaya nga ito yung microservices eh. So, makikita natin yung face API. Ito siya, face API service. So, paano natin siya i-access? So, to access that, we'll issue the command. Minikube face API, yung pangalan nating service. Face API service. Ay, wait. Nasaan na yung service? So, wait. Nandito pala yun eh. Ay, sorry, Minikube pala, sorry. iCubectl. kubectl. So, post ko lang. So, ayun. So, I have troubleshoot my problem. So, nalimutan ko lang yung ating command, the Minikube service. So, we will basically know ano ba yung pangalan ng service. So, kung hindi niya alam yung pangalan, you will issue the command kubectl o kubecontrol get SPC or service. Then, hanapin ninyo yung pangalan ng service na iraran ninyo. So, ang pangalan niya is space API service. So, magraran yan. So, wait. Baba natin. So, ayan. Nag-run na yung ating face detection. Ito na yung mismong containerized application natin. So, hindi ko lang kung nadidetect. Ayan, nadidetect ako. So, parang accurate naman na nasa 25 to 32. So, may buffering lang nangyayari. So, ngayon, we have successfully built our containerized application sa Docker, tapos in-integrate natin with the use of orchestration tool para makapag-create siya ng replica kung saan ito yung mag-handle ng multiple requests from the user. So, nandiyan tinatawag natin horizontal scaling. So, the next one, on my guide, so nag-add ako ng additional. So, I add some additional para kahit wala siya sa deployment, nasa development pa lang, pwede mo siya matry sa ibang device. So, we will issue the following command, kubectl will basically forward the 5000 port into our 8080 or our HTTP. So, ang command niya, kubecontrol port forward, we basically forward our port on a specific service. Ang pangalan ng service natin ay API service. Yung port 5,000, forward siya dun sa 8080. So, kakopy ko na lang dahil medyo mahaba ito. So, kapag ganito, nagraran kasi siya, hindi natin siya pwedeng i-close. Ang gawin mo, mag-open ka na lang ng isa pang terminal or CMD. Isa pang command line. So, pwedeng CMD actually ha. Pwede yan. Then, issue nyo lang to. So, ayan, nagpo-forward na. So, next na gagawin natin, we will expose it with the use of ngrok. So, kung wala pa po kayong account sa ngrok, so gawa muna kayo ng account. Isa sa requisite ng project na ito is itong sa ngrok. Tapos, ikakopy ninyo yung token sa account ninyo. Tapos, saka ninyo pwedeng i-run itong i-demo ko na nga sa inyo para makita ninyo. Sa CMD. So, another CMD tayo ha. So, run as administrator ulit. Then, ang ilalagay nyo kasi, ngrok add auth. So, add auth token. Tapos, yung token, ito makukuha nyo ito dun sa account niyo. Pero, dito kasi sa akin, na-add ko na yung auth token ko. What I will do is, I will just forward my HTTP to my port to HTTP 8080 para ma-access siya externally. So, kapag ito ay nirun ko, so, pinost ko lang. So, i-redemo ko sa inyo class. Ay, class guys pala. So, kapag yan nirun ko, so nagrarun na po yung ating application, pwede na siyang ma-access externally. So, I will try to access it using my mobile phone. So, kakopy ko lang to into QR code ha, para ma-visit ko. So, so ayan, nagra-run siya dito sa akin now. Pero pwede ko yung i-close. So, close ko muna to. So, nagra-run na siya on my external. Meron tayong port forwarding dito. Meron tayong ngrok dito. Then, we also have our Flask application that is running here. Pero hindi ko kasi nare-recommend na i-run siya on the background kasi hahanapin mo pa siya sa list of containers running bago mo pa siya i-stop. Kaya dito kasi mas madali siyang i-stop. So kapag in-issue mo kasi yung command na ngrok, So, kapag inisyo mo ngayon, mag-forward na tayo sa port 80, ma-access na siya externally. So, kinapi ko na kanina yung ating link nung ating site, which is forward our localhost 8080. Kapag kinapi natin yan dito, hindi pala siya na-copy. So, pasensya na naman, hindi na-copy. I will. So, kapag nagpunta tayo dyan, so, mag-visit site tayo, mabibisit na natin yung ating face recognition. Pero, ang pinaka-goal natin is ma-access dito sa ating phone. So, na ma-access dito sa aking phone. So, tanggalin ko yung charger. Na ma-access dito sa ating phone. So, i-QR code ko na lang para makita siya. Para ma-detect siya. So, QR code, text to QR code na lang. Text to QR code. So, wala akong makita. Siguro ito, okay na to. So, accept all. So, wait lang. Hindi pa siya nag-generate eh. Ayan, na-generate na. So, ba't nawala? Bigla siya nawala eh. So, scan ko lang yung QR code. And as you can see, binisit ko siya gamit ang aking phone. So, refresh ko lang. So, medyo nagbabuffer lang dito sa aking phone. So, nagbabuffer lang dito. Kasi it is intended for more on desktop. Pero kita din kasi yan dito, yung number of requests. So, ayun na. Makita mo yung IP address ng nagre-request along with the status, kung 200, which is okay on our codes. So, ayun. So, and with that, we have successfully built your own containerized application. So, itong mismong code base nito, ito po ay, siguro i-ano ko lang sa GitHub. So, ipupush ko lang sa GitHub, tapos check na sa comment section ng video na ito. So, ayun lang. So, sana ay natutunan ninyo bakit ba kailangan gamitin itong si Docker, si Kubernetes, and yun. So, thank you.